do some opening takes, and then we'll go to the calls if the people are ready. Mazz, why don't you lead us off?
Okay, so quickly, just as a point of note, Kenny Rosenthal is a national writer. And broadcaster, for that matter, has been covering the game a long time, has no history that I know of with the Red Sox as far as axes to grind or anything of the like, and many of the voices that you are hearing in the last several hours, going back to 6 o'clock last night, are national voices. These, in theory, are unbiased national assessments of what the Red Sox did at the deadline. Ken Rosenthal called the attempt with the Twins, quote-unquote, feeble, and said at some point you've got to fire the gun. Okay, now we're going to hear a lot of different things from a lot of people about the inactivity at the trade deadline. People are pissed, and I agree. I want to talk about something Craig Breslow said last night during the press conference that began at 7 o'clock that I heard on the ride home. And in particular, there is one little segment of one comment that he made that stuck out to me. And Jimmy, if we could play the first half of that, please.
I don't think this is about an unwillingness to include guys or anything like that. Teams have to like our players.
Okay, so not about an unwillingness to include guys or anything like that. And it's that little last phrase. Teams have to like our players.
Teams have to like our players.
What does that mean then? That they don't like your players? And which players don't they like? And the reason I ask this is the Red Sox farm system overrated? Is that what he's telling me? That they don't have the artillery to make these kinds of deals? Or was it the players they were offering that were not liked? Now, on the one hand, he said that it wasn't because of an unwillingness to offer their best players. So if you legitimately went out there and offered your best players and they said no, then you're telling me that the team's porked. You can't make a deal. You can't make a deal for high-end talent. Is that what you're saying? You don't have the artillery to do that? So how much longer do people have to wait? What, you got to draft new ones? Is that it? I don't believe that. I don't believe that they don't have the artillery to make a deal. I think that they were unwilling to part with the pieces that could make the deal. Now, again, I don't know what those pieces were. Maybe we'll find out that more of that comes along. People have to like our talent. So does that mean they didn't like it? Do they look at your organization and say, you guys kind of suck? Or the other thing I wonder about is, have the Red Sox dug themselves so deep into this thing over a span of 6 years that everyone knows that they're desperate and they're now trying to gouge them? So again, to me, that comment was loaded. There was a lot in it. What does that mean they don't like your players?
617-779-0985. Murray, what are your opening thoughts?
ESPN's Adam Schefter today with the bombshell news that Washington receiver Terry McLaurin, who has been knuckle-deep in a contract squabble with the team since the start of camp, has requested a trade. That cap space the Patriots have. Patriots are in on Tampa's Chris Godwin this offseason, tune of $30 million. Did you guys see DraftKings? Patriots have the second best odds to land McLaurin since this news broke, plus 450. It's going to happen. No, it's not. It is not going to happen because as yesterday with the liar Red Sox proved, when it comes to the teams, plural, all of them in this town, going the extra mile, overextending themselves, being hungry to win, it's over. It's over. It's not coming back. All these owners got their titles. They're fat and happy now. They're never going to make themselves financially uncomfortable again in an effort to win championships. In a way, it's kind of like what Bane said to Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. Victory has defeated you. In other words, all the winning was amazing. We loved it. It was great. But eventually, it's come at a cost. It's kind of ruined these teams all these years later. All these owners, these teams that you care about, they got it. They got theirs. They increased the value of their franchises to billions of dollars. And they're never going to feel as strongly as you do about these teams ever again. And yes, some of them might end up falling ass backwards into titles again. Celtics probably have the best chance of it. Brown, Tatum, hopefully Tatum's physically fine coming back from the injury. And maybe Drake May ends up being a stud, but jury's out on that. But unless any of these teams draft some sort of generational freak, do not ever expect any of them to overextend themselves at any trade deadline or offseason ever again. And don't believe any word any of them tell you. It's 2025. We are living in the golden age of lying and arm-waving grift. And mouthpiece worms like Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow exist solely to sell you magic beans. Everything they tell you is a lie. Don't buy it. So the Patriots they're going to be in on Terry McLaurin. You see the odds? You see the odds? How many of my dopey friends screen capped that to me? Plus 450, it's going to happen. Micah Parsons, he's uncomfortable in Dallas. He might try to force his way out. They might get Parsons too. None of it's going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's all too costly. It's moves that are too uncomfortable for these teams. And as far as the Patriots are concerned, you have recent proof. Fake interest in DeAndre Hopkins, fake interest in Calvin Ridley, fake interest in Brandon Ayuk. It's not going to happen.
Okay, we will do some football just to mix up the Red Sox commentary. I want to hit on something that just started jaw us loose this week, and we were talking about Will Campbell and some of his struggles and what's their backup plan at tackle on both sides, and why don't they have a backup tackle? And you guys brought up a couple different times, well, why don't they have a backup quarterback? And you tried to tie the two together, and I've sort of rejected the linkage because I think quarterback's different, and it's really kind of a really major side topic. Well, I want to sort of go to the side topic last night. It was sort of jarred loose by watching a football game last night.
Yeah.
You watched Trey Lance last night?
I watched a little bit. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
I could have set a watch to this.
So this pisses people off. So this is another part of the take. Immediately, Murray's annoyed that I'm going to say Trey Lance looked good last night, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I like in real time watching it last night, I'm like, oh, I know someone who's falling in love with every pass. See?
No, I don't know. All I'm saying is, why don't they have a Trey Lance on the team? Which is what and it doesn't have to be Trey Lance. Oh, he sucks. Why are you talking about him? All right, give me someone else.
Well, they did.
Yeah, no, if you mean like young guy that's flamed out somewhere else, but there's still potentially upside, no, this part I'm with you on. No, the Patriots should have a Trey Lance rather than the Pastronaut. This part I agree with you with.
I think every team should have one of those guys. And Trey Lance sucks. Okay, I know he sucks. He played last night, so this is like a whole other part of the take. This has been going back to the Big Show days. I tried to talk about Dante Culpepper or whoever. It's what are you talking about? He sucks. Yeah, it's August. You talk about backup quarterbacks in August. That's who we're watching. So we have a show to do today. Can I talk about the backup? No, he sucks. Brady. I think it's hurt. They're screwed. Brady. And then Brady got hurt, and Matt Castle played. So it's like
11-5 missed the playoffs. But go on.
See, exactly. Yeah. It's annoying.
I'm just giving you facts. That's all.
Fine. True. Castle sucks. They sucked. It's a phony year. I don't care. What I'm saying is it's August, and it's time to talk about backup quarterbacks. So this is another little – I'm starting to get a little annoyed by some of the roster building here with the Patriots, and not even the front line guys. Why haven't they protected themselves at tackle? Because one guy's too young and one guy's too old. And so you have someone who could just represent as a swing guy, a third guy, and they don't. Not even close. And then at quarterback, I don't need anyone to compete with Drake May. And I'm sure Trey Lance isn't competing with Justin Herbert. But I think Trey Lance with John Harbaugh, yeah, I'd throw that into the Petri dish there for a couple years and see.
Definitely.
It's probably not going to amount to anything, but why not? You have 53 spots. You get the third quarterback. If Josh McDaniels is this guy, then why can't he have a young kid with upside and you give him a couple of years and see what – there's nothing to lose.
Because it goes back to the word I was using with these franchises, uncomfortable, because it would make some of these players, these young players, these already anointed stars that we've drafted real high, uncomfortable. Well, again, what was the Mike Reese term when it came to Drake May? Why they had to trade Joe Milton?
Clear the runway.
Oh, yeah, no. You got to get that out that push broom, guys. We got to clear out that runway. Can't make them uncomfortable. Push it all. Runway's clear. All right, they're comfortable. Who's here? Bums to push it away. They should have more competition at some of these positions.
I bet you're talking about Trey Lance. He sucks. Yeah, okay. I know he sucks. See, you watched him last night. Can you talk about it? Go ahead, Mazz.
I bet you Jim Harbaugh turns him into something.
He might. Me. I mean, I don't know. Like that's
another one. That's a line I could have said a watch to too.
And also, I said it, Murray.
As Jim says, I root for crappy quarterbacks. It's more interesting to me. Anyway, those are our opening thoughts. To you for your opening thoughts. Let's go with Jim on the Cape. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, guys. The most famous quote Breslow made yesterday was, "We were uncomfortably aggressive." We all know what that means, and I want to hear your take. He's a bum, and they are bums. Thanks.
So I want to give Breslow more blame today than I ordinarily would.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's usually Henry. I think the way the organization operates as a business starts with him, ends with him, and the big picture, it's about John Henry. And so, like ultimate blame pie, I'm still blaming Henry more than Breslow. However, I think the last 24 hours exposed Breslow, Mazz, as a particularly weak and ineffective chief baseball officer.
I would agree with you, and I think that is sort of one of the major takeaways of this deadline. And wait until you hear what Bob Nightingale has said in the last little bit. Jimmy, did you send that out yet, Jimmy?
I haven't sent it to the show yet, but I have it.
I mean, I have the tweet. If you want the tweet, if he actually said this.
Oh, we have actual audio. I don't know if it's the same as the tweet. I haven't seen the tweet, but the audio is good. Jimmy, play it.
Had conversations. But when you talk to GMs around the game, said it's very tough to deal with the Red Sox and Craig Breslow in particular. And if they're really going for it, they did a poor job because the Yankees got a whole lot better. Blue Jays got better. So I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. I think the fact they didn't do anything, they may be sitting home and the Texas Rangers take their place as that wild card team.
Really difficult to deal with the Red Sox in general and Craig Breslow in particular. That is a blow dart right into the luxury suites over at Fenway Park.
Go ahead. He wrote, I don't know if it was a tweet or in a story, but he said, weren't the Red Sox supposed to do something? They promised they were going to make this team a legit contender. Instead, a trade deadline came and went, and all they did was acquire struggling Dodgers starter Dustin May and swingman Steve Matz from the St. Louis Cardinals. It wasn't nearly enough, wrote Nightingale. He gave him an F with the grades. So, or they were a loser. They were a deadline loser. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and I just think that this has now happened for a period of years over a number of deadlines. And what do they have in common? And I would say inexperienced general managers who were in over their head. I think that, to me, is one of the big takeaways of this deadline. Bloom was overmatched. He wasn't ready for it. Breslow is overmatched. He wasn't ready for it. They didn't want him to take this job when they first talked to him. He was there ultimately to run the pitching part of the organization throughout the minor leagues. Pitcher development really is what it was. But they ended up giving him the chief baseball officer job. And his first off season, you know what happened? He failed. He couldn't close deals. So what happened in year 2? Theo came in, consulted him. They were able to do a little bit better. They got Bregman. I'm convinced Theo was involved in the crochet talks. And I got more on Theo later, too. So let me hold that thought. But they got to the trade deadline, and they whiffed again. So you tell me, is there something to be drawn from a trade deadline a year after year after year when you whiff and you have inexperienced rookie GMs?
Of course there's something to be drawn from that. And I ultimately blame John Henry, which is why I don't. This is a Henry problem. Okay, now second chapter, sidebar. Breslow's another in over his head clone, stiff. He's not. Ineffective, weak. Someone who's stronger would push back or move the owner or work within the confines better than this guy does. He's certainly given guardrails, but it's not like he challenges those guardrails or is able to move them in his direction or do anything more with them or do anything with them, frankly. He's just a weak, ineffective chief baseball officer. And I think that is once again has been exposed in the last 24 hours.